Welcome to the Heartwork Podcast, where we delve into stories, struggles, and triumphs of entrepreneurship, leadership, and personal growth. I'm Dr. Sara.
And I'm Dr. Marisa. We're here to guide practitioners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and those just navigating the complexities of life on a journey of discovery that explores the dance between passion and strategy, heart and hustle.
With candid conversations, insightful interviews, and plenty of laughs, get ready to uncover how leading with heart can transform your business and life. Let's dive in. Welcome back, everybody. And today we are coming with just an analogy to allow you guys sometimes when life feels like you're stretching through something. There is this analogy we have both been given that feels like it's very fitting in both the season that both Marisa and I are navigating and also many seasons that we've seen ourselves go through over the course of our lives. And it's this analogy of when you are given a coat bigger than what you fit into. So it's almost like the opposite of how you put something in the dryer and you shrink something and you literally cannot put the shirt on, or you need to stretch the shirt. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I've literally stretched shirts over my knees before to try to get them to stretch out. Probably not super smart, and funny enough, I actually did that this past weekend. I felt my shirt was a little tight and it snapped and put a hole in it. So for just future reference, don't do that. So anyway, side note.
Don't do that.
Went to dinner with a huge inch-size hole in my shirt. It was great. That's not what we were going to talk about, but that's literally what it just went to, which is great. So is this analogy of when you continue to grow and lean into your world and into your life, things are going to be given opportunities to you. And obviously, yes, you are stretching, you're evolving, you are moving as a human. And that object, let's say that coat or that sweater, has become too tight for you. What God will do, he's not just going to give you a coat that just now fits you perfect, right? When you think about your life, you're not just going into a situation where that it literally just fits perfectly snugly. It gives you all the right curves and all the right angles. It's going to be something that is going to be oversized. It's going to be like a big puffer jacket that feels like it's huge. The sleeves are too long, maybe extend past your legs. Tall girl problems, I never have this problem. But at the same time, when it comes to a jacket, but when in life, it truly is this too big of an oversized sweater, oversized coat. And if we do that, God does that for the sake of we get to grow into it. And in that space, that jacket or that sweater or that coat, whatever you want to think about that is too big for you, it's going to feel like it doesn't fit. You're going to feel frumpy in it. It's like that season of life where you're feeling like you're getting stretched and you're evolving into something that you don't know. So it's the season that there's a lot of unknown, that there is a lot of trust that you're being invited into. It's a season of being asked to release a lot of expectations, release a lot of those transactions, that performance, because you just get to lean into what it means to actually be present with this new adventure and this new coat that's being given to you. And I know for me right now, I feel like my coat's been it's a much bigger coat in a lot of ways. It's wild because it's a much bigger coat in the side of what it looks like to truly be in alignment with my heart and what I feel like I'm being asked to really lean into. And it also feels like a lot of what I've experienced from what my previous big coats used to look like, that's almost slimming down and streamlining itself, it's so interesting to navigate what that the new coat looks like, because things will trim down. You're getting the experience of, I'm not just chasing the same things that my big coat used to express, I guess I should say.
Oh, I can totally relate to that. I'm literally imagining actually a coat that I have that is quite oversized, and how sometimes I absolutely love that because I get to wear a good cozy big old sweater underneath, and it's layers, right, that build up to the coat. And then there are some times where I'm just how, what was the decision-making process that led to me wanting to get this coat in the first place? And I think that totally relates sometimes to how we feel about what we do in our decisions in business, right? We make decisions and we go down a road or we explore something new, or we make new hires, or we bring in a new modality or a new method or way of doing something. And there is always that little bit of literal growing pain that can accompany the decision process. And I always think it's a good rule of thumb to give yourself you know, 60 to 90 days before you go making any additional decisions after the one that you initially made, and to give it time to settle in and to give yourself time to grow into the experience or the capacity or the newness and nuance of it. But my curious question would be for you of like, what happens if you give it time and you're trying to grow into that coat and you're just like, I don't know if this is ever going to fit.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a scary question to ask because, like, am I actually ever gonna fit into this process, and fit into this new season of life? And I think the crazy part of that, you're not gonna know. And,
Mm,
like, I think the thing that we get in our heads so much is that we need to know the answer whether we're gonna fit or whether we're actually gonna grow into this, and it's not about putting on weight or any of that, but it's like the evolution of you as a human being, right? And I don't think that we have the ability to know. Us wanting to try to figure that out is in the ego, and us trying to give ourselves a picture of where we're going in life. So, like, even just an example of where we are at as a season of an office and as a company, I'm getting ready to hire a higher level human being for an office manager operations person than I've ever done. I've always done development within my company, and it's just beautifully naturally how it's happened where I've been able to promote within so that those positions are filled that way. And we're just in a season where I don't have another human being that I can promote just because of people having babies and like they're making decisions for their family and for their life that just beautifully align for them. So we are getting ready to hire a higher level leadership role in our office. Never done it. And also never done it with the capacity of leadership. I think that's what's like so different even for me is like I have really high level leaders even though their capacity is smaller. So they're coming back from maternity leaves and they're part-time, right? So like
yeah.
they don't have the ability to do a full-time position or role. And so I'm also hiring a level of leadership, but I have really high freaking leaders that have been with me for a really long time. And so there's also this dynamic of like, how do you bring somebody in that has the acumen, the personality, the skill set to be able to do that? I don't know. And I also don't know if it's going to work. And so like I think that's the craziest part and I like literally have given myself permission. I've also given myself permission to the team. It's like if this doesn't work, we don't need to keep them. Like I'm not going to force something to try to like be there or make it harder for ourselves, like we'll navigate it along the way. But yeah, I don't think there is any way, shape, or form that you can figure out can you actually will you ever fit into that coat? Will you ever get here? Can you trust that you will? 100%. Or I truly believe that like you're going to fill out the coat in a way that it may not look like you may think for the sake that let's say that I hire this office manager and it doesn't work out the way that I thought. But I learned something about myself and my team learned something about ourselves. We evolved as leaders of human beings, how we operate in these positions. So in that whole analogy, we are also filling out that coat in a completely different way than we may have perceived that we were going to. So there is regardless, you're going to fill it out and then God's going to give you another one to be able to handle the next season and the next situation that you're moving and you're evolving into at the same time.
Yeah, it's important, I think, to keep that perspective at the forefront in a space of unknown because oftentimes when that coach shows up, like, ooh, we're in a season of stretch. We are being
Mhm.
stretched. Your vessel is being tested. Like, have you grown into the person that is also capable of filling out the coat? And if you haven't yet, what is being asked of you in this season of life? What is that level of leadership? What is that level of self awareness? What is that level of understanding? What is that level of desire and knowing that's going to allow your capacity, your vessel to expand enough to hold and to carry the light that wants to be filled within this new framework. Um, and I think that sometimes that's what actually the beautiful part and the lesson of it all is not the fact that it's this new coat, but how you are being called and how you are growing and expanding to actually fill it. Because when you actually get to that point where you feel it, you might decide, this puffer coat ain't it. Like, I actually want a long line leather coat. I need a vest right now. I need a cropped jacket. Like, there's so many different ways that can go, but you won't ever know that until you discover the person who is being called to fill things out. Sometimes we get, I think, thrown different coats so that we can be more aware of truly what it is that we're also desiring with what shows up. And it's
Mhm.
that journey process that can actually be more telling to allow us to stretch into the capacity to truly hold the next coat that was meant for us.
Yeah, and I think there's another little words of wisdom would be to make sure that you're not putting else on somebody else's coat at the same time.
Yeah.
You have your own. Everybody has their own gift of a coat. Like, for one, if we just take you and I as a scenario, I would not fit in any of your jackets because I'm in your coats because I'm just taller than you. So if I'm going to try to smoosh myself into one of your coats or jackets, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, it's gonna not fit right, it's probably gonna look a little funky unless it's one of your oversized jackets, like and so just know too, like each and every single one of you guys are listening to this, you have your own specific coat that God is giving you. Don't try to put on somebody else's for the sake of trying to be like them and look like them. I think that can be really easy to try to do because you feel like yours is either not the right style, not the right fit. It may feel too big. It may feel uncomfortable because you're not filling it out yet. So just a little side note on that one at the same time.
I think it's an important distinction, right? Like, we live in a world of comparison. We have information access at our fingertips at all times. We see highlight
Yeah.
reels on social media all the time, but you don't always get that peek behind the curtain, right? Like, you get the runway view of the coat, but you don't get the, process of making it, selling it, enjoying it. It's really important to, again, sometimes we get the coat and we're like, after time, it's not for me. So give yourself the grace of understanding, like we have that beautiful gift, which is time. But time can only be beautiful for us for as much as we're willing to be self-aware of the journey while that time is present. Because then time can continue to pass on and more time passes on. And we end up back in that same spot where if we were just a little bit more aware, if we were paying a little bit more attention to what our heart is saying, to what our body is sharing, we may have picked up on some of those subtle signals. And that's the whole point of doing the heart work, right? Is to just become more aware of who you are and what your true desires are to be able to understand. And sometimes we do naturally, as human beings, look to and compare with others and try and figure out, they're doing that. Is that something, or could that be something that I want? But there's more of a testing and jumping and figuring it out. And if it's not it, or if you're starting to feel that lack of alignment, being able to, you know, bungee jump yourself right back on out to a different area, a different journey path. So, got to do it first to know, though.
You do. Part of it's just living, and that's the beautiful part about navigating life at the same time. So,
No. So, all in all, this to say, don't be afraid of the next coat. Don't be afraid of being stretched. Remain open. Allow yourself to grow and discover the person that may be filling out a new coat. How freaking exciting is it that there is this, again, expansion that is awaiting you? And even if it's not going to be the same coat for long seasons, the excitement is the fact that you get to experience that in the meantime and what that journey actually looks like.
So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Heartwork Podcast. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to lead with heart in your business and life.
If you enjoyed this, subscribe so you never miss a release, rate our show, leave us a review, get on our VIP email list, and join our exclusive Facebook group, The Heartwork Life, to plug into our community and learn from us and other heart-led entrepreneurs on a weekly basis.
We look forward to chatting with you next time.
Bye.